What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion part 2. So, look, it's not a lot to say. So, we start off with the whole Kyle thing. Kyle feeling attacked. Kyle feeling like the women were coming for her. You know, her and Dorit had their moment. And Dorit was like, well, I feel like you were, coming down on me because I decided I wanted to get in glam. She was like, Teddy made it clear she didn't care what time I showed up, so I got there when I got there. I don't understand why you had a problem with it. If Teddy ain't have a problem with it, why did you have a problem with it? And I feel the same way. Teddy's invitation from the beginning was fucked up. Excuse me, messed up. And for her to be like, okay, I'm having this event and I don't really care if y'all come. Matter of fact, I really don't want y'all there. Like, if I'm Dorit, I'm taking my sweet ass time to get there too. Like I am, and Dorit, yeah, Dorit stopped to do her glam thing and all of that. That is what Dorit does. She did it in Rome. She always does it. Like, in hindsight, I'm like, girl, whatever. I think Dorit at this point, I've gone through my stages with Dorit. Her first season, she irritated me. I wasn't crazy about her. I thought she was doing too much. Then last season, I was like, the whole dog thing, I feel like they turned that into a whole situation. I felt like she was sort of being played like a little bit of a scapegoat. Then this season, I'm like, you know what? Dorit is who Dorit is. Like, I get a little chuckle out of Dorit at this point because she so clearly wants to be that glamazon. Like, she so clearly wants to be that girl. And she is to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But she is that friend that is going to always be late. Like, at this point in social media, we all have those friends. They late getting to you, and then you look on their Instagram and they done took 10 pictures before they left the house, and you were like, this what I was waiting for? This why you were late, because you was doing a whole photo shoot. Like, everybody has that friend at this point. You know what I mean? And so, child, it is what it is. And then, but I think it does go back to the fact that Kyle has a tighter relationship with Teddy. And so she was sort of offended. She was sort of, I guess, defending her friend a little bit. And I feel like during this segment, I feel like Erica was giving Kyle a lot of passes. Because when Kyle said to, when they brought up the whole thing, when Kyle said to Erica about, well, I guess you just don't have real friends. I feel like Erica 2 seasons ago would have still had something to say. But she was like, well, I mean, it's whatever. Like, I don't care. Me and Kyle, we just have two different, I didn't have siblings. I didn't grow up with people sleeping in my bed, so I don't care. And I was just like, come on, Erica, that ain't really Erica. And then of course Kyle was like, I mean, I have siblings, like that's just how me and my friends are. We sleep in each other's bed, and I just didn't think it was a big deal. Why was it a big deal? And Garcelle said, why don't you just admit that you have a closer relationship with Teddy? Like, it's okay. Like, it's not that serious. And I think that's just what it boils down to. Like, just say, hey, me and Teddy, we have bonded on a different level. We hang out outside of the show. Our families have spent time together. Like, it just is what it is. Like, so what? Unfortunately, because Garcelle really did not do a lot of filming with them this season, she wasn't there for a lot of this stuff. And I feel like sometimes she was interjecting where she wasn't necessarily needed. But yeah, then they had the whole thing when Dorit said, well, I actually have a life. You cleaned it up, Dorit, but you meant what you said, and you said what you meant. You was like, listen, I was doing shit before I got here. Whatever. Poor Sutton, she ain't have a whole lot to say either. Like, every once in a while she would, they said when they got to the whole Lisa Rinna thing, she was saying that she thought it was weird that Lisa Rinna was dancing on camera, and she tried to play it off like she didn't mean it no kind of way, and Dorit called her on that shit. Dorit was like, call a spade a spade. You meant something by that. Like, you meant something by it when you said it. Like, don't sit here and try to pretend like you ain't mean shit by it. You meant something by it. And she did, and it was, but, now she's like, it's whatever. Lisa Rinna's quirky, she's weird, I'm weird, it's whatever. Of course, they had to bring up the whole body shaming situation with Lisa Rinna, her daughter, and Garcelle, and I feel like Garcelle was just over it. She said in Watch What Happens Live that she wished she had never said it, that she sort of regrets saying it. And again, I think they took what she said and they blew it out of portion. I don't out of proportion. I don't think that what Lisa Rinna was saying. I mean, I don't think that what Garcelle was saying is that Lisa Rinna is the reason why her daughter has an eating disorder. I think what she was saying was, I don't think that helps. You know, your child has an eating disorder and she has some sort of insecurity with her body. For her, 50-something-year-old mom to get on Instagram half naked all the time and dance might not be the best decision. And once again, here comes Teddy interjecting, talking about something. Well, you said it in front of all of us. Like, you didn't say it privately. Like, that's something you could have said to Lisa privately. And Garcelle was like, because again, that had nothing to do with you, Teddy. Just like I feel like Garcelle interrupted a few times when it didn't really have nothing to do with her. I feel like it ain't had nothing to do with you. Then it was this incident. I'm all over the place, y'all, because I'm just. So then they were talking about the dinner party where Kyle said to Dorit, "Well, you and Erica aren't as close as you think you are." And again, I feel like Erica let her off the hook because I'm like, come on, Erica. So I feel like just as angry as Erica was last week's episode with Denise and being so nasty and coming for Denise, I feel like she was the exact opposite with Kyle. And I'm like, so, which further brings me to a certain group of ladies had a whole kumbaya and their only focus was coming for Denise. Because in a normal reunion, even if y'all are already over it, in a normal reunion, the conversation would still have been had. And y'all know, like I know, Erica Jane would not have let Kyle off the hook with all that shit she said. You must not have real friends. Come on now. Y'all know, like, Erica Jane has gone off for less. She has gone off for less. And so again, I just feel like, and that's another reason why my energy level is just low, because I feel like this whole thing was about coming for Denise. Now, Kyle and Dorit, again, they got into it when Dorit was making them comments about Kyle's fashion line, honey. And, Dorit was like, well, I said what I said. She sort of stood in it about 80% because she was like, well, I did say what I said about your fashion line because I did expect more. And she was like, well, you try to take credit for the whole thing. And she was like, but she was like, and I mean, I was at New York Fashion Week and you were in a warehouse, I'm sure Dorit was like, yeah, but I knew what the hell was in my fashion line. Like, I wasn't seeing garments the day before the fashion show and didn't know what the fuck they were. So, like, that could easily go either way. And I just feel like, Dorit wasn't wrong with what she said, because I said the same thing in my review. I'm like, how the hell you got this fashion line and you don't even know what's in it? And then you get there the day before the fashion show and you know nothing. Like, how hands-on are you with this, Kyle? And so I felt, and again, sorry, y'all. And again, the difference is, they're friends, and maybe Dorit could have said something to her separately. Then they cleared up the whole thing with Lisa Rinna and her daughter. Yes, her daughter's apartment is like $5,700 a month, but she's paying for it for herself. She said, I'm not, Lisa said, I'm not even giving her the $1,000 a month. Like, it's all hers. She was like, she's still modeling, and she was like, she makes more money than all of us, which, she probably is. So she can afford it, and she's paying for it herself. But she said that, she said she has her good days and she has her bad days. And when she's good, she's good. And yeah. And when she's good, she's good, So good to hear that. Then we had, we found out that Teddy's daughter has some issues at birth. It's a very rare situation. It's something dealing with the daughter's skull. She had to have surgery, and I know Teddy posted that she had the surgery. She came out of the surgery well, and she's doing well. So thank you for that. I'm glad to hear it. Like, as much as I don't wish bad on nobody's child, obviously. Then we had we found out that her daughter cut her finger off during the COVID by accident. But of course they had surgery, got it sewn back on, and everything is everything. So again, good to hear it. Lisa Rinna spoke on her daughters finding out about giving head through her book. And Lisa Rinna's response was, well, at least they learned how to do it right. Who says you do it right? I'm just saying. I mean, I guess to a certain extent, you put it out, you got to own it. And I'm sure, I mean, she put that book out years ago, long before, her children, like, I guess that's one of those, you don't think about the long term, when you do stuff like that. But I, I don't know. I just don't know if I want. Okay, I'm moving on because I don't even know what else to say about that. I don't know what else to say about that. Then we get to the last 20 minutes, and the last 20 minutes is all about Denise and Brandy and this situation, and I don't care. I'm over it. I'm not getting ready to sit here and spend a whole lot of time on it. I'm just not. The only thing that we kind of found out about is that um, that Denise sort of stopped Brandy from coming. That it sounds like Denise stopped Brandy from coming, and that because she was like, because of course all the ladies, and the funny thing was the ladies knew that that's why Brandy wasn't coming. They knew why Brandy wasn't there because they kept saying, "Where's Brandy, Denise? Where's Brandy, Denise? Yeah, Denise, why isn't Brandy here, Denise?" And at first Denise tried to hem and haw, and then finally she was like, I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of coming on here. She's not a part of this show. She's not a part of this group. I said, and that is where you should have been standing in your shit from the beginning. They tried to throw the thing from BravoCon in Denise's face, and when I listened back, Denise never said they were really good friends. Again, I think that Denise and Brandy spent more time together than Denise wants to admit, but I just don't think it. I'm not going to keep going through that. I've said it to nauseum. I'm done with it. But that's the only thing. That's the only other thing that came up. I'm not going to keep talking about this Denise Brandy situation. I'm over it. I'm done. I think it was announced today that Denise isn't coming back, which I don't think that was a shock to anybody. The rumor is that I believe Garcelle is leaving too. Rumor is that Brandy will be back next season. I'm not sure if she's gonna be a full member, or a friend of the cast, but she will be back. That's the rumor. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell y'all here, tell y'all now. If Brandy comes back next season, I'm probably not gonna review the show because I'm gonna feel like that she got rewarded for bad behavior. Because I don't believe Brandy's story. I just don't. Do I think Denise is telling the whole story? No. But do I believe this shit that Brandy's saying? I don't. I don't. And I'm done.